And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Monday, hot. 73 degrees. It's going up to 186 today, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm in long sleeves.
Yeah, that's okay, but you're something that'll kind of halfway keep you cool. It's going to be hot, folks. All joking aside, if you've got stuff to do, please go out and do it early. We're talking tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, probably triple digit.
Yeah.
And everybody says, well, it's not that big a deal. It is for June. We've hit hundreds before, but not in June.
Not mid-June, yes.
That's July and August, not June. And if I'm not mistaken, it'll be the record, I think, for Wednesday is 98. Now, the last time we hit 98 was 2019. So it's been almost 3 years since we've hit 98 degrees. But it's going to be hot. I'm just telling you that because you got to please. I don't think I've got anything that I've got to do outside, so I'm not going to. Just me.
A lot of summer camps this week.
Oh,
sports camps. A lot of them.
Woo. Bill saying good morning, Stephen. Good morning. Glad to have you guys with us here this morning. I told Juju I was headed down a rabbit hole.
A proverbial rabbit hole.
A proverbial rabbit hole this morning. And what happened, I thought he shared it, but he said that he didn't. And somebody shared it about giving to the LR to the Bears Club. Mm-hmm. And then with all of the alumni-type associations, you've got categories. You give this much, here's the things you get. You give this much, you get all these things plus some more, and on down, a little spreadsheet kind of thing. And so I was on there because it said was talking about tickets and season tickets. So I got on there and I looked, and I want to say you follow the spreadsheet down. Don't hold me to this. $1,500 donation gets you 2 season tickets to football, 2 season tickets to basketball. I want to say parking. No, it's more for 4.
Okay, they've upped the levels.
It
used to be 4.
I think that's right.
Okay.
I
guess it's a coincidence that they're upping the levels and they're getting all these new facilities.
All right, we're going to go membership info here. Let's see.
Stay with us for a few minutes with this, and then we'll get to the real
we'll
sports.
Get to other stuff. If you are you've got to get to the okay, and I don't know if this is an updated sheet, but it said starting next year, Bear Mountain level starts at $1,750. $1,750 will get you no, wait a minute. Big Bear, $1,250 to $1,449 will get you 4 tickets in the red section or 2 tickets in the black section. But I can't find a stadium map. That's why I went down this. I couldn't find that. But that just kind of gives you some indication. And then you get 4 basketball season tickets. You get 2 complimentary football and basketball hospitality.
Yeah, that's in the the Bears Club hospitality area.
Okay.
And the pavilion.
Okay. And let's see. Now, if you want an invitation to the president's box, okay, you got to go $25 to $499.99 for an invitation there.
If you want to do it. And they got plenty of room. I was up there yesterday. They got plenty of room there.
Well, there's all kinds of things.
It's like walking into a banquet room. That's how big it is.
You've got to get in the you got to donate a minimum of $750 to get 2 basketball general admission tickets, 2 complimentary football, basketball hospitality, and 2 red level football season tickets.
That's $750.
You got to get to $1,250 to get 4 or 2, depending on where you want to see it. So anyway, that's where I went. I'm down the rabbit hole, and then while I'm on there, when I get to a website, I can't stop. I start going all around and just start diving down. So I went down the Lenore Ryan Sports Hall of Fame, and anyone that I knew, I started looking, and I went
third
all the way
oldest
through.
in the state, by the way,
I
behind
went
Carolina
all
and East
the way.
Carolina.
I went through the whole thing with everybody that I knew.
1976 or 77 they started.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but some of the people, Mike Houston was one, Smith Sharp, let's see,
Jack Huss.
Wilmer Walker in 14.
Yeah, Jack Huss.
Yep, Daniel Willis in 14. Perry Fuel, Scott Crawford in 11. Surprised it took that long for Crawford to get in there.
Yeah.
From the career he had there and then beyond, it wasn't NFL, it was CFL, but.
Yeah, there were some questions about, and I nominated him and I pushed for him. I wasn't on a committee or anything like that. But there were some questions about his character and some things he did outside.
Nobody should be inside the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
The list would be pretty small.
Anyway, some people were just that were on the committee. Some, I'm not saying all. Some were narrow-minded, and they just didn't do their homework and researching. Some people love to do this research stuff. Others, they want to be handed the information so they can make a vote on a committee. They won't do the research or go and say, okay, I think this guy deserves it. Let me go do some more research. And there are some people back then that didn't do that. It was more political back then.
Ted Goins.
Yeah.
Ted was minister at the Lutheran Church in Krause for a number of years.
Oh.
And I was office mates with his daughter when I taught at Gaston College.
Walt Cornwell.
Mike Everett. Let's see. Danny Williams. I played for Coach Williams in the Shrine Bowl.
Tom Brown.
And Eddie Holbrook. I did not know Eddie Holbrook went to Lenore Ryan.
Yeah,
I always associated with Gardner Webb. First basketball camp I ever attended was at Gardner Webb.
Okay.
Eddie Holbrook, and he had all the stars.
Yeah.
Artis Gilmore, Monty Tao, Phil Ford, John Lucas. I mean, he had all the stars. And then Tyrone McDaniel, I believe that's Keewan's brother, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. Older brother. Yeah. Bunker Hill.
Rick Barnes. Then you get on back, Dave Elder, John Lentz, Jack Huss in 96, Tom in 95, Mike McCree in 93, Mark Midget in 91, Sally Bradshaw 91. Let's see. Neil McGahee in 87. Hanley Painter in 85. Did not know him, but had his wife, Lorraine, as a teacher when I went back and got my teacher degree, and then saw her for the first time, I guess, 2 years ago at Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
She was there.
And their daughter, Janet, is at LR, or was at LR, as in education as well.
Okay. And I'm telling you all this. Then Walt Cornwell went in 80, Frank Barger in 79, and in 79 was Jack Kaiser. Now, the connection to Jack Kaiser for the Lincoln folks, longtime Lincoln coach, also coached at Cherryville. But here was the thing, and sometimes until you see the information, you really don't know about all the impact that they had. And I didn't know he was a Lenore Ryan graduate. But he played football, basketball, baseball. Now, listen carefully. He was the captain on the 1929 basketball team and the 1930 football team. Okay? It's his senior year. Basketball in the spring of 29 and then fall of 30. Following his graduation, he coached, taught, and served as a principal at Cherryville, Bessemer, and Lincoln. A lot of folks didn't realize I think he started at Cherryville coaching before he came to Lincoln. But he spent the bulk of his career at Lincoln, 27 years, where he won lasting respect not only as a highly successful coach but an outstanding educator. Now, the other thing about him when he was at Lenore Ryan, he was the vice president, then president of the student body. He was voted best all-around boy in 29 and 30. When he was at Lincoln coaching women's basketball from 1945 to 1961, he went 236 and 15.
Oh, wow.
15 years, 15 losses.
That's 90 92% winning percent, 90% winning
He
percent.
captured 13 conference titles, 8 tournament titles, and 2 state championships. And the reason that there is an end to this story, guys, I promise. My mom played on one of those state championship teams.
Oh, wow.
She's in the Lincoln County book over there, the Lincoln County Historical Sports book that I've got. But I had no idea that he had played and graduated from Lenoir-Rhyne.
And I'd never heard of him until
And you had never heard of him?
No,
Yeah.
never. I've heard of the other Kaiser, Scoop Kaiser. Wasn't there a Scoop Kaiser?
Scoop was
Scoop relative?
I don't know. Scoop was the sports editor at the Cherryville Eagle.
Yeah.
Scoop was. Richie, good morning. Brian, good morning. But that was my story. That was a story that I wanted to tell because I went down just looking at accomplishments. And, of course, I read Tom's and Walt Cornwell's and Mark Midget's and Mike Mike's and Jack. I read all of those. And I just but when I found that one, that kind of takes you on back just a little bit. And if you ever have a chance, I know when Addison was traveling doing volleyball, we would play a lot of games in gyms and stuff, because that's where they would have the tournaments.
Yeah.
I would always find the Hall of Fame cabinet and go through it and look
same.
at pictures to see if there's people I played with that I knew.
I've done the
knew
same.
somebody, all that kind of stuff.
Here's a quick story. I went to a funeral of a former teammate of mine at LR, Dan Hardy. And I went to the funeral with a buddy who lived across the hall. He was Dan's roommate, by the way, and lived across the hall from us. And he's a baseball player. He was our kicker. His name was Foots. Jeff Long came from Charlotte Independence High School. His high school coach back at that time was a guy named Gene Robinson, who's in the LR Sports Hall of Fame, and he holds one of the great records in Lenoir-Rhyne football history. Back in the early 50s now, 14 interceptions in one season. He's the all-time leader in interceptions with 23 or 24. I think that those are records that will never be broken. Turns out he had a birthday over the weekend as well. And I think, and then one of the things I like to do in the research, who is one of the oldest or the oldest living Lenoir-Rhyne football player? And I think Gene is 91, maybe approaching 92.
Okay.
He would be one of the oldest that's still living. He's an All-American in the Hall of Fame, coached at Charlotte Independence High School for a number of years. And like a lot of guys that graduate from any college, back in those days, they majored in education, became teachers. Heck, they sent guys from their school back to their alma mater. And he sent a number of guys from Independence to LR for a number of years in the 70s and into the 80s until he retired. But I just thought,
what year did he play at Lenoir-Rhyne? Approximately.
Early 50s to mid-50s.
14 passes in the 50s was
I
amazing
know.
in
That's
itself,
what
much less 14 career interceptions in the season.
14 in one season.
Yeah.
And they only played like 10 games.
And they didn't throw the ball.
No.
They didn't throw the ball.
He was a great punt returner,
Yep.
amazing athlete, and he's still living. Great for him, good for him. God bless him, and he's in his early 90s, still living in Charlotte, by the way, he and his wife.
Wow. Mikey Lale, good morning to you, sir. Mikey is 45 today. What's scary is he was one of my students.
Okay.
That's bad. That means I'm getting old. He said, knocking $5 off special car washes this week with complimentary bottles of water for the heat wave break. Happy Father's Day this coming Sunday, Ben. And Mikey's down at Double Shine right here in Maiden.
Okay.
Okay, downtown. Richie, my mom was a teacher's aide at Krause and Love Memorial. And I don't know, third grade. I'm not sure. But if you went to that school, there's a chance you had her. Let's just put it that way. Morning, Lincoln. Bob, Gene Robinson had a twin brother that played Lenoir-Rhyne, too.
He did, and his name escapes me right now. Gene and David. That's not David.
Gene and Dean? Did they do that?
No.
Okay.
Gerald? No. Something like that. Sure did. The Robinson twins.
I have a
They lined up together in the kickoffs, one on one side, one on the other, and they return kickoffs.
I have a set of twin cousins. One of them won a state championship in basketball at Cherryville and then played JV for Roy at Chapel Hill. He's a teacher and a coach. And they did that thing. Their name is Ray and Jay. okay? That's not the worst part. They did the other name too. Stacy Ray Tracy J. That was just in case you're wondering. Richie said he had her at Krause. That would be correct. Now, Richie, when she started, no, wait a minute. When she started at Howard's Creek, not Union. I don't think she was ever at Union, but she started at Howard's Creek and then got to Lovemore, then to Krause. Let's see. Rich said big upsets over the weekend. Super Regionals, 3 straight years. The number 1 seed hasn't made it to the World Series. Overall, one hasn't won the championship since 1999. Yeah. And we're going to go there next. I just had to tell my story. Sorry. Didn't mean to bore anybody. But we'll go to baseball next. East Carolina played like a 117-hour game yesterday, but still came up on the losing end.
And I think the game probably ended this morning.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It started at 10 o'clock.
Yep. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
All right, let's go baseball. You know that's where my heart lies. I'm really into baseball. I'm a big baseball guy. I do watch a lot of college baseball, and will continue to. I don't know what the deal is with Tennessee. They did not have a great series.
No, they did. Well, they had a good game too, right? And they end up losing to Notre Dame. And I don't know if there are a lot of fans that are, upset. If you're a Tennessee fan, sure, but how many fans you think were rooting for Notre Dame after if you watch any of the college games this year, and you did not have a dog in the fight? You got the feeling, and I've watched plenty. You've watched plenty of baseball and been to baseball games. I just didn't like the way they acted, the way they approached the games. I mean, they were beyond cocky. They were arrogant and, come up with any adjective you want. The way they hit a home run, they circle the bases and basically give the finger to the other team.
And who was this?
Tennessee.
Yeah, they had a little baggage with them. Yeah.
And so I don't, they lost game one, came back and clobbered for game two, and had a lead in game three and ended up losing it. Notre Dame, give them credit. They had a freshman out there pitching, I believe, for a couple of innings, and he's the one that shut them down as Notre Dame came back and won that series. But, think of any adjective to describe arrogance, and that to me, that's what Tennessee showed in some of their games this year, the ones that I watched.
Well, there's 6 have made their way so far, and the other 2 will finalize tonight.
And a lot of them are unseeded.
Well, the 6 that have made it, only 2 were nationally ranked. Number 5, Texas A&M, unranked Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and number 9, Texas. Those are the ones.
And they talk about the ratings, and the number 1 team has not won the national championship. Well, go back and look at who does the polling, and it's the coaches. Mm-hmm. Who was the preseason number 1 in college baseball? Anybody know? It was Texas. It was not Tennessee. Preseason number 1 was Texas, and they've been to more World Series than any other school in the country, so they're going back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It took 3 games in the Notre Dame-Tennessee series, took 3 games in the East Carolina and Texas series, and 3 days to get the last game in, practically. That game was to start at 4 yesterday. It got started, and Texas jumped on them early, top of the first, 4-0. There was a 3-run home run that was hit at the top of the first, and then Texas won it 12-1. Texas A&M beat Louisville tight. 2 games, swept them. 5-4 in the first one, 4-3 in the second one. And then in the Oklahoma-Virginia Tech took 3 games. UConn and Stanford, that one is all tied up. So winner take all today at 4 on ESPN.
I would be surprised if it's not Stanford.
Carolina and Arkansas. I was really surprised. I felt like 2 games, Arkansas won 4-1 and 4-3. I watched that game yesterday. I thought Carolina went in play not to lose mode. And it's a shame because they brought in Caden O'Brien, and he'll pick up the loss because he was the one. But he came in, it was either bases loaded or was 2 on. I mean, and
it wasn't his fault. He gave up the game-winning hit. I don't know if he take
right
the
up
loss.
The middle.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think he'll take the loss.
I thought that's the way it was. If whoever's pitching when they go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's part of it, Lanny. But I think that he's not responsible for the guys that are already on base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm not. Like I say, baseball's not my thing.
Yeah, he was put in a tough situation.
Yes, he was
for sure.
And I thought their pitching let them down yesterday. They put a lot of people on base. They had a lot of runners out there.
And they had the lead going to the 9th inning. 3-2.
They had just scored. No, they scored it in the top of the 9th. It's the go-ahead.
To go ahead to lead.
And that's why I say I think they went into play not to lose mode.
And then they kept throwing up these statistics about teams that were playing at home in the super regionals, win 77% of the time in their 3-game series. Or the team that wins the first game of a super regional wins over 80% of the time.
That's all great. That's great.
Those stats throw out the window because that did not apply to this weekend.
2-game, a sweep in Hattiesburg Ole Miss beat Southern Miss 10-0, 5-0.
Boy, that's tough.
And Hattiesburg, Southern Miss was the host city, was the host team.
So there's like 3 or 4 teams that hosted super regionals didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to throw those stats right out the window.
Auburn and Oregon State are tied. The deciding game is tonight,
I go with Oregon State.
ESPN 2. Then the College World Series began on June the 15th.
Friday.
Just around the corner. It runs to the 17th if necessary.
North Greenville won the Division II World Series.
Okay.
Second year in a row that a team from this region won the World Series. Last year was Wingate on this very day. 1 year ago today, they win the World Series in Division II. And 2 years in a row for, if you're an LR baseball fan, they beat Wingate last year twice, and they beat North Greenville twice this year. So maybe that's a good sign for LR going forward.
Steven said, go Irish, and Milton's a Krause alumni. I'm not. Krause School was shut down when I came through. Gotcha. I went to Love Memorial when I was in the 7th grade. We still had elementary sports in the 7th and 8th grade. There were no junior highs. And so the elementary schools played each other in football, basketball, and baseball. We were the only school that did not have a gym. We did not have a gym. And in the 7th grade, we practiced outside on concrete.
Yeah.
And we had no home games. Okay. In the 8th grade, they had just opened Krause School back up. And so that we had somewhere to practice indoors, they took all the seats out of the old auditorium, gymtorium, that had the stage, and it was hardwood floors, and they put 2 basketball goals up. It was a very short court, but at least we had somewhere we could practice inside, and that was the first year they opened it up. That would have been, holy crap, 73 maybe. I believe that's right.
Was it shorter, the court shorter than what you saw at Bandy's and Bunker Hill back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Even shorter than
this
that.
Was just an auditorium. The foul line, I don't remember if the top of the keys weren't just about touching half court because it was just a place to practice instead of playing outside on the playground.
Yeah.
When I was 7th grade, we practiced on the playground. Didn't matter if it was cold, didn't matter what it was. That's what we did. And then during my 8th grade year, I'm trying to remember where the building came from. They tore down a metal building somewhere at one of the schools and reassembled it. No, I take that back. We got a brand new metal building at Love Memorial that became a gym, concrete floor, big old metal building. And then when they did remodeling and built a new gym at Love Memorial, they tore that building down, and that became the field house at West Lincoln. That's where West Lincoln's field house came. They tore it down or disassembled it and made it and reassembled it. Richie said, karma came back and bites you in the butt for flipping people off around the bases.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Karma's undefeated, Bubba.
Yeah. Milton said overconfidence can bite you too. Richie said North Greenville wanted, as Juju said, he's hearing Landon Powell's is being considered to take over the Clemson program.
No.
Would a chicken take over the Tiger program?
Well, yeah, he's from South Carolina. You're right. He played at the University of South Carolina. I'd be surprised.
They brought flipping Brad Scott to Clemson. He was head coach at.
Yeah, but I'd be surprised if they hire a Division II guy, go from straight D2 to D1.
Yeah.
I would think his next step would be at a mid if he does that, would be at a mid-level major type thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where Clemson's going to
like
go.
a Coastal Carolina or something like that.
See, I'm surprised that Clemson haven't went after a Coastal Carolina coach or East Carolina's coach, for example.
I don't follow the coaching as much, the coaching stuff in baseball, because it's very difficult to do. But some people that do say that there are enough former Clemson players that are in the coaching profession throughout college baseball that they can have their pick and choose.
Hard to replace Jack Leggett. Leggett, who was there for years at Clemson.
Yeah.
Richie said Arkansas has great pitching, and I believe they were somewhat underrated coming into the tournament. Runners on base go to the pitcher that gave up the hit. Okay. Talk about how you scored.
Yeah. Oh, Clemson and Florida State are looking for coaches.
Yeah, Florida State fired their coach too. Richie said, I'm torn on the Oregon State-Auburn series. There is still some bitterness from Carolina losing 2 straight championships to Oregon State in baseball, but I'm tired of the SEC teams even more. Morning, Bill Klein. Milton said he was at Krause 70-71. Richie said, I heard Clemson's going after a big name. Yep, and Mike Martin Jr. was the coach that was fired at FSU.
He's the son of the legendary head coach at Florida State.
Okay. And Steven said, and I saw them talk, you saw it on the little group chat we have, Florida State's going to go after Notre Dame's Link Jarrett after the College World Series because he played at Florida State.
Okay, there's your connection.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying. They go after players. Sometimes that staying in the family works out, and sometimes that staying in the family doesn't work out. But maybe it would. I would think. I mean, I don't think that Notre Dame to Florida State would be considered a lateral move because Florida State's a lot stronger in baseball than Notre Dame is.
Yeah.
And get south for a baseball job.
I think you're right. And imagine now, obviously now, but earlier in the season, I think it would be tough to play.
Mm-hmm.
And get consistency in terms of playing games when you're playing at South Bend, Indiana in February and March.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You get south. Mike Martin Jr. succeeded his father, who was the winningest coach in Division I baseball history.
Oh, yeah. All college baseball, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
And I think his dad has ties to Wingate. He may have went to Wingate when it was a junior college.
Okay. And but, you got to do what you got to do. Martin played for his father at FSU as starting catcher from 93 to 95. When his father retired, he passed Augie Garado's win total in 2018.
Texas.
With a retiring record of 2,029 wins, 736 losses, and 4 ties.
Yeah, Augie Garrido, he's a legend too at Tennessee. At Texas.
And the other thing that we need to get into a little bit, and the only thing that's keeping me from getting into it is I'm not sure exactly where everything is. And I'm talking about not really realignment, but just people moving. Cincinnati's moving. Charlotte's moving. They're going to that All-American Conference. That's where East Carolina is, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Conference USA is going to just about go down the tubes because everybody's kind of defected out of it. Either went Sunbelt or went somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'll try to catch up. We'll take a break. We'll try to catch up on that next.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And we're back. Now I'm gonna ask you a trivia question here. Don't look this up. Don't
True.
Google it.
False.
Don't Google it. Okay.
Who, me? Or you asking
Anybody.
our
Anybody.
audience? Okay.
Bill said Landon went to NC State. He left to go to South Carolina with the coach. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Richie said found an article on the Clemson coaching search. 3 names being mentioned: Michigan's Eric Botic, ECU's Cliff Godwin, Notre Dame's Link Jarrett. He also said, do you see where teams join the Big 12 will be able to join next year? Yeah, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Let me give you something here. First of all, the question, and don't Google this. Now that things have come back around, fairs, ball games, things are kind of back to normal gatherings. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me how many pounds of hot dogs are consumed in the United States in July alone? How many pounds of hot dogs? Approximately. Don't Google this now. Don't cheat. Then the other thing I want to tell you is, did you know that the Olsen twins, Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen, are 36 today, and that's also their weight each. You're poster children for anorexia.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just had to. Richie said 2 million pounds. Nope. A little bit higher. A little bit higher.
Man, oh, man.
Let's see.
What's the old line about? I think my dad was a butcher. He said there are 2 things you don't want to know how you make them.
Bologna and hot dogs.
Well, hot dogs and laws.
Parts is parts.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say. Hot dogs, lunch meat, spam.
Yeah.
There's no little spam animals running around out there. All right, Milton says 5 million. All right, here's my other one. What is the second, if the White House is the most visited house in America? And I've been in the White House because back in the day I could. Uh-huh. I went to Washington in 73, I think it was, with a 4-H group. We went over Thanksgiving, saw everything, did a White House tour all over the White House, Capitol, Ford's Theater, Arlington, Smithsonian, Zoo, Supreme Court, Library of we did it all. We did it all. Great trip. And and now you can't do anything. But the White House is the number one. What's the second most visited? And I've got 2 million, 5 million, 3.5 million from Andrew, and Andrew says
Thank you.
Viney
Thank you very
sausages.
much. Is that a clue?
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Richie said he read that potted meat container one time. You don't want to read the potted meat container. No. Okay, you're all wrong. Do you know how many pounds of hot dogs are consumed in July alone in the United States?
2.7 million.
Are you ready? You sure?
I'm just guessing.
1 billion.
Oh, shoot. Pounds of hot dogs.
1 billion pounds of 1 billion hot dogs.
Okay.
That's still a billion hot dogs is going to be more than 5 million pounds, because a pack of 8 hot dogs is probably a pound.
Talking about
or more.
in the United States alone?
United States alone. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's roughly 8 pounds of real meat in that billion pounds of billion hot dogs. Get it? There's only 8 pounds of real meat in it. The rest of it's just parts, just in case you're wondering. And the second most visited house is Graceland.
Graceland.
And I want to go there. I got a few bucket list things. I want to go to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and see the 2 recording studios down there.
Saw those.
And that's not far from Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to do Memphis. I've been to Memphis one time, but it was almost a day trip when we played Arkansas State. Flew into Memphis at the FedEx Hub.
Now, you said Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals.
That's
Alabama.
not how they say it down there.
How do you say it?
Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 recording studios, famous recording studios.
That's where the Division II championship game was played for a number of years in Florence,
Really?
Alabama.
Yep,
And,
that's very close.
Yeah, nearby. And we drove by when we went there when LR played in the championship game in 2013. But everybody had the team, LR's team, and other personnel had bodyguards, police officers and stuff, and they all had the same accent. And we asked them one time, where is the Music Hall of Fame? Because there's different Hall of Fames down there. And they said it's in Mush Shoals. So we had the running joke. Let's go to Mush Shoals. They just cut off everything. Mush Shoals.
Okay, I got the poundage now. Milton said there's 8 dogs in a 12-ounce package, so a pound of dogs would be 12 dogs. Okay, just using that math. That would be 83 million pounds of hot dogs. 83 million pounds make up a billion hot dogs. Wow. So you guys were still low. Yeah. Richie said don't put a chicken slaughterhouse on your visit list, on your bucket list. Anyway, going back to Mush Shoals and Memphis, that's 2 places that's on my bucket list. I'd like to see the Green Monster. You know I'm not a baseball fan. Would like to see Lambeau since I am a shareholder. Would like to visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And you can make that same trip, stay on I-77.
Yeah. Those
are
there. Yeah, those are some things that's kind of on the bucket trip as I get older. I'm sorry. Yeah, older, because I'm already old. So as I get older. Back to conferences. Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida will officially join the Big 12 July 1st, 2023, after reaching an exit agreement with the American Athletic Conference. Now, the American Athletic Conference is picking up UNC Charlotte and a couple of others. They're just moving around, but it looks like Conference USA is going to be the one that's going to have to kind of drop down and maybe take some folks that want to move up or something, I guess. Big 12 added Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida, and BYU after Oklahoma, Texas left to go to the SEC.
Yeah, they hadn't left yet.
I know, but
they're not going to leave until 2024.
Well, that's the plan. 2025, this says.
Yeah. That's when the new TV
Though
contract.
that timeline could change.
Well,
if they stay in the Big 12 through 2025, the Big 12 would be at 14 teams for 4 seasons.
I would think cooler heads will prevail. Right.
Cincinnati, Houston, and Central Florida will each pay $18 million to exit the American. The school had been paying $10 million exit fee and 4 annual payments through 1024, and they agreed to pay an additional $8 million spread over 12 months from 2025 to 2036.
Did you see the story with all the dead money that college football has for its former coaches? It's in the billions of dollars.
I can believe that. Mm-hmm.
In the billions of dollars. Now you're going to add on to this?
But why does that surprise you?
No, it's not surprising. It's just the fact that, you have so-called guys that are experts in terms of money management. And they got all this money that's being tied up in coaches now in exit fees.
Mm-hmm.
Take that money and apply it towards helping the kids, right? The students.
No. Why you're thinking that? That makes sense.
I know.
That'd be doing good. You don't want to do that. I think
tells you how much money's out there.
When you have dead money to coaches, and correct me if I'm wrong here because I don't know the answer to this. There used to be things, and I guess if you're fired it wouldn't matter, but I thought there were things that money they only paid you if you weren't in coaching. Or am I thinking on the pro ranks? Some of the pro ranks are that way. If a coach leaves, they fire him and they pay him money, and he gets another coaching job, they don't have to pay him the full amount. They have to pay the difference or something.
Well, and that led to schools like Alabama hiring these guys who were getting paid by other schools as analysts.
Paying them nothing.
Yeah,
and paying them nothing because they were working. Then they would work for Alabama for free,
or just a small supplement.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't be on the field and coach. They were analysts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am going to look this up.
Or they go into TV and they're getting paid for being a TV broadcaster and also their previous coaching stint.
Well, the TV money doesn't count against them.
No.
Yeah.
It was just a way of double dipping and getting paid.
Yeah. I'm trying to, let's see. He did play at Wingate, Michael Martin Sr.
Yeah, he did.
You were asking.
It was a junior college.
Junior college, that is correct. Mm-hmm. 63 and 64. He's from Charlotte.
He is, yeah.
He played at Florida State for 2 years, and then the Greenville Mets, the Winter Haven Mets, the Mankato Mets, the Rocky Mount Leafs. He was a center fielder.
And he's the winningest coach he's the James Naismith of college baseball, and he has tentacles and ties all around college baseball. The guy that played for him at Wingate, Ron Christopher, became a longtime coach at Wingate after that, and I think he's in obviously the Wingate Hall of Fame, but he's one of the winningest coaches in college baseball on the Division II level. His name's Ron Christopher. He coached, of all people, Frank Pate.
Okay.
And Frank has since gone on to have a great career and coached others.
Did you know that Mike Martin's first coaching gig was not baseball?
He coached track and field at a junior high or something?
Basketball. Tallahassee Community College.
Okay.
Did it for 2 years, and then for 3 years at Godby High School. Coached basketball in Florida, and then got on as an assistant from 75 to 79 at Florida State, and then the rest, they say, is history.
College baseball in the 70s, not nearly as it is now, as lucrative as it is now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And never won a World Series. Finished second.
I don't think he did.
A couple of times. He went to the College World Series his first year at Florida State when they were in the Metro Conference. And then College World Series runner-up in 86. He made the World Series a bunch.
Yeah, he did. That shows you how tough it is. Baseball's, there are a lot of variables. Mm-hmm. You're playing with an aluminum bat. Guys get hot. You have a dink and a dunk and a bloop or a blast. Throwing error, just a lot of things that can change. It's not necessarily the most talented team that always wins, and that's been the case over the last, 20-some years.
Brandon hit it on the nail on the head here. He said they are hired in an off-field position so they can double dip.
Yeah. Correct.
And they don't need the money. So let me flip back here, see if there were any startling news. One of the things that's going to happen, I think you're going to see a lawsuit. I've already seen it, some of it kind of putting together against the PGA. And I think
by the PGA or against the PGA?
Against the PGA, because they can't ban these players. That's what they're going to come and get them for. They can't ban these players from the PGA. Monahan, the commissioner, defended the punishment in an interview with CBS Sports during the final round of the RBC. I just don't – I don't see how, if they want to push it, that they can get by with it.
I'm surprised that this – and I know Greg Norman's pushing all of this, but if the Saudis want to spend money and make money, why do it in golf? Why not do it in like a spring football league?
Gentleman's game. They can buy players.
They can buy players, too, in college football.
They don't have to buy a team. They can buy players.
They could buy players like just have like what Donald Trump wanted to do with the Generals back in the early 80s.
When they said that they had to choose between one or the other, that's where there's going to become a problem.
Yeah. Is golf the kind of sport where you can pay for all these appearances and you get an automatic amount of money?
They've always paid. There's always been appearance money.
But if you're playing in a tournament, right, and if you don't make the cut, you don't get anything.
Unless you got appearance money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
But that's not the case with this new tour.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And do you think that unless they start getting more named players from the PGA Tour, like they're playing, in Oregon in a couple of weeks or this week or sometime soon, do you think they're going to draw a crowd or they're going to draw enough TV eyeballs?
They have no TV partner.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all free, and it's on YouTube. They just got a YouTube channel.
I don't see how they could make it.
But
not in this country.
But the problem is they don't have to. That's where.
But you're not going to have the crowds. You're not going to have the excitement. And as a player, again, are you going to be one? You're going to be the kind of player that wants to be remembered as a
part of that
taking the money.
Part of that comes from
or your legacy.
It's right. You've got some golfers that are playing for the legacy. But then you've got some golfers that are playing for the money. Go back and look at professional football players now. Not nearly as long a career as there used to be because they get in, make their money.
And they're out.
They're out.
With their health.
Yeah, and be able to live sort of a normal life kind of thing. This is what I had read. This is from Fox News. It said, the tour could face a major antitrust lawsuit, according to some lawyers who specialize in non-compete law. The PGA Tour is really opening itself up to a major lawsuit with potential antitrust claims and also a situation where they can't justify what they're doing other than saying, we don't like competition. This is from an attorney. And the courts are going to be very concerned about why the PGA Tour is doing this. These issues are now being looked at very carefully from an antitrust perspective by the courts. The courts look very skeptically on any kind of restraint of trade, and that would be part of what the PGA Tour is doing. Okay? In it, the PGA Tour commissioner accuses LIV participants of turning their back on the PGA Tour. That's not a very good reason. Mm-hmm. He then gets a little petty and nitpicks them for not filing the proper paperwork. As you know, the LIV players did not receive the necessary conflicting event and media rights releases or did not apply for releases at all. He seems to judge the players for wanting to play for money. These players have made their choice for their own financial-based reasons. Now,
why? Because they are professionals.
They are independent contractors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I think that's going to be a problem because they didn't have really good legal reasonings on why they did this. They couldn't justify it, other than they're mad. They're just mad.
Kind of like the NFL was when the USFL came along in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a lawsuit. They won their lawsuit.
Brandon Iger said, watched it on YouTube, and it was actually really great to watch. Yeah, we know the Panthers are being sued by everybody. Tepper doesn't care. It's pocket money. Brandon said the shotgun start and team play made it interesting. I think the shotgun start is huge because you can basically put that thing in about a 4-hour window and get a chance to see everybody. Not replays, but just go from spot to spot on the course. I don't know. Richie said, I saw the fanfare outside the course, and they were having a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me of a fanfare at a waste management tournament in Arizona. They have fun. Well, they also, if you ever watch that Century tournament that's at Lake Tahoe, that's an amateur tournament, but they have a lot of celebrities that play in that.
That are good golfers.
Yes, they are. That's a great – I'd like to do that one on my bucket list.
Okay.
Too. That would
just
be a
add
good
one to your bucket list.
Just go watch it. That would be fun. I think when you talk about the fans, I think when it comes to the United States, which I think is the next one up, we'll see. We'll see. And then I think the problem's going to be if you've got people that are playing on the LIV Tour that are last year's champion at some of the PGA Tours and they can't come back and play, I think those tournaments are not going to be happy.
Is it this week? It's the U.S. Open week? It's Father's.
Right.
It's usually Father's Day weekend.
Okay, then it'll be this weekend.
I'm sure that'll be one of the things that will be discussed quite a bit in the golfing world.
Yeah. Let's see. Schedule. Wait a minute. Travelers, John Deere. Yes, the Open. Brookline, Mass. And then the Travelers, and then the John Deere, and then the Scottish Open, Barbasol Championship, and then the Open Championship, the 14th.
You're talking about the 14th of
July.
That's the British Open.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Open.
The Open. You're right.
The Open.
That's another thing on the bucket list, right? St. Andrews or someplace like that.
I really hadn't wanted to. Gotta go over and play and walk. Sounds too much like work. You back tomorrow?
We'll try.
Okay. All right. We got to get out of here. We're on like double probation overtime. Have a good day, everybody. Please stay cool. If you don't have to get out in the heat, don't. See you later.